binge watching my channel again, I love you. Last week, no, not last week, time flies. A couple of weeks ago, I was in Houston at the Montgomery Heart and Wellness Health Summit. There's some more words in there, but I can't remember them all. Anyways, we were hanging out, doing that health conference stuff, you know, filling our head with all that good plant-based nutrition. And I ran into my friend and fan, Esty Hammer. She is so cute. And she gave me the greatest tip on some tortillas that make great home-baked tortilla chips. Oh, so I'm going to share with you my experience of turning the tortillas into home-baked tortilla chips. Ooh, that almost didn't turn out right. Let me try that again. I want to share with you how I made home-baked tortilla chips completely oil-free. Oh, yeah. I have a couple of factors that I think led to my success in making these home-baked fries oil-free. Did you hear that? I just said fries. I didn't mean to say fries. I mean to say chips. I'm trying to say chips. Tortilla chips, tortilla chips, tortilla chips, tortilla chips. I'm having trouble with that today. Okay, carry on. One were the tortillas that Esty recommended I get. These El Milagro, I don't know, because I took French in high school instead of Spanish. Okay, so I've got those corn tortillas, and they're relatively thin, okay? And then instead of oil, I'm using water. So I went ahead and made a kind of a salt water solution, and of course you can see it's just, I didn't measure, I just dumped some salt in my measuring cup and then dropped some water on top of that, and there you go, my salt water. And then my other little tip here, you see that black meshy thing? That's a crisper sheet. My aunt gave that to me. She's a QVC shopping network kind of fan, and when she went to order those, they gave her 2 in the order, and she didn't need to, so she gave me 1, and voila, I have one. I have looked them up on Amazon. They are available there. You can buy, I think they come 2 sheets, 2 crisper sheets to an order, and I have many times I have wished I had 2 of those. So one day I'm going to get around to ordering a pair for myself. Okay, and you saw I was just cutting up the tortillas, and I'm going to use a pastry brush, or I used a pastry brush to brush on the salt. And I'll tell you, go easy, you know, just like you're painting on a canvas. Try to knock off that excess water and then brush that salt onto your chip. And don't dig too deep into the salt, because you can get some really salty chips. And I already learned you don't want to salt both sides of the chip. You just want to salt one side. One side is plenty. Okay? And occasionally just watch your tortillas. Sometimes they get stuck together. Now this brand of tortillas, they're relatively thin, but there are a few tortillas in the stack that are a little thicker than others. So there are chips that are going to be just a little thick or not dry out completely, whereas all the rest of them will be nice and crispy. I would say about 90% of the chips come out great. They come out with a snap, and they're dry, and they're just like the tortilla chips that we would eat out of a bag or in the restaurant. And then there's that last 10% that are just a little harder to eat, or there might still be a little moisture in those. You know, there's a little bit of bend to the chip. And if you want to go through the trouble of rebaking those or leaving those thicker ones in the oven, go ahead and try it. But there weren't enough of them in my experience to make it worth the trouble. Okay, I popped all those chips in a hot oven at 375 degrees, and I went 3 minutes, and then I flipped them all over, and then we go another 3 minutes, and 6 minutes was just right. And I was really careful to make sure that my oven rack was in the middle of my oven, and then so that I didn't get too much burning, because I was doing other stuff in the kitchen. And you know how that is. You get busy doing other stuff in the kitchen, and I used my timer so I wouldn't forget. I didn't want to burn these because I only had so many tortillas. So anyways, I used the timer to make sure I was on top of things. Now that one still had a little bend in it, so it probably could have gone another minute. But the other ones, they really turned out great. Now you see that? You see how I bent that crisper sheet and just dropped it right into my little chip bowl? That's another plus to having one of those crisper sheets. That was so much easier. Okay, then, you know, after I got the hang of making tortilla chips, I thought, well, what if I did like lime flavored tortilla chips? So my water, I still had some water in my measuring cup, but I just squirted some lime juice on top of that and gave that a little stir, and then I started brushing that salty lime juice onto my crackers. Not crackers, but my tortilla chips. And that was pretty good. They weren't super limey, so if you like a super limey tortilla chip, that's not the way to go. But it did give the chips a hint of lime, and I was really happy about that. Okay, now watch Maggie dig into these chips, because here comes my picky eater, right? If she doesn't go for these, then I really can't make this a habit. I'll have to stick to the Tostitos, but watch her face when she dives into these. They look so good. They're so pretty. And it was fun to make. It didn't take too much time to put these together. She's so cute. Did you see my lime green walls? Yeah, I painted my kitchen this beautiful, it's called lime green. I love it. It's such a good color. All right, thank y'all for watching. I hope you give this a try. Make your own home-baked, oil-free tortilla chips and tell me how it works out for you. Again, I baked the chips at 375 degrees, 3 minutes on each side on the crisper sheet. Now, how they'll work out on a regular old baking sheet, I have no idea. You're gonna have to tell me. All right, I'm gonna let y'all go. I love y'all. I'll see y'all later. Bye.